Hello, friends, and I hope you're doing well. It is August 20th on this Monday evening. I trust you're doing well. Today I'm going to go over a Neon Revolt article entitled Anderson Cooper's Satanic Slaughterhouse. We all are well aware of Anderson Cooper and who his mother was and who he is tied to, definitely CIA. There's a lot going on with this guy. There's a lot going on with these families, these 13 families, which we would, I guess, call the Illuminati. They're very branched out, and there's a lot going on in there, and it runs deep. It really does. If you are unfamiliar with Neon Revolt, please go to neonrevolt.com and check out all of his articles and blogs. Also, be kind enough to donate to his Gab account. The guy's, an excellent researcher. He really puts forth all of his effort into bringing us the truth. And I've been covering his stuff since the beginning of this channel. And, I hope I do it justice. I usually do from what people say. If you are new to my channel, I would be most appreciative if you would to click that blue bell to get notifications for when I do post. You'll know it. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at True Reporting. And if you would care to donate to my Patreon, all donations $10 and up will get free shipping on merch that will be coming in the mids of September. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this. This is True Reporting. So right here, I'm going to start actually in the middle of this article because he says right here, the relevant section is here, where we examine how the icon behind her might actually be a reference to the Phoenician fertility goddess Tanit, which is really just a proxy for Asherah Baal worship. So what he's referring to is this right here. Right here, this picture with Anderson Cooper and his mother, so-called mother. We look here, and this is what we're looking at. This picture there. This is the full picture. And we'll go back down to where we were going to begin. So, Anon breaks it down perfectly. So, yesterday we learned of the arrest and grave charges of the child sexual abuse against Joel Davis, former volunteer coordinator of the International Campaign to Stop Rape and Gender Violence. As a coalition of organizations working directly to end sexual violence, we are deeply shaken, shocked, and appalled by these revelations. We stand firmly by the children and families allegedly hurt by these acts. These allegations are intolerable with respect to anyone, even more so when the alleged perpetrator is an individual whose young career was built on advocating against sexual violence. This is who we're referring to, who I do follow her on Twitter, Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. A lot of people think that stands for Satanic Ritual Abuse, the SRA. So right here we see, then why is your company logo Tanit, a Phoenicia deity that requires human sacrifice and child prostitution? If you don't know what a deity is, please look it up. It's almost like a god. So we see here, right here, Tanit, she says, Sarah Ruth Ashcraft says, Tanit, Phoenician goddess, permutation of Astarte, Isis, and Ishtar, often seen in the symbolic art of the elite like Gloria Vanderbilt. Anderson Cooper's photos floating around child sacrifice and pedophilia. We see here the image, and then we see here this image on this stone. So it's very old, it's very real, and please look more into it. Then we see here, deeply shaken, remain committed, yet company logo is Tanit, a Phoenician deity that requires human sacrifice and prostitution. So we see it here, the International Campaign to Stop Rape and Gender Violence and Conflict. And this is her. We see it here. It's literally almost the same thing. You can see the arms and the head, and then we see the arms and the head. Triangle, triangle. Yep, right here also. So let's continue on. That said, an Anon came in today and said, "This is Our Lady of Solitude." So here we see the picture again. We continue to scroll, and this is basically, this picture is mocking this picture. And we'll go into that. It says, sorry, forgot images. Basically, you see Christ and kneeling angels. And right here, we see kneeling angels. And then looks like I don't know, like something through someone's head. And then someone burning in a box. And it looks like they're dressed in like a bunny rabbit suit, like a pink bunny rabbit suit. Very, very strange. Remember, the creepy thing above the bed in the Vanderbilt Anderson Cooper's photo, here is the original. Notice that the Vanderbilt version looks like a satanic perverted version of the original, which I just showed you. Original is named Our Lady of Solitude. Our Lady of Solitude, also known as Nuestra Senora de la Soledad, Virgin of Soledad, Memorial Holy Saturday profile. One day during the 17th century, an unattended, heavily laden pack donkey staggered into... I guess it's Oaxaca, Mexico, and died. No one knew where it had come from, who owned it, or what it carried. When the people examined his pack, they found a beautiful statue of Our Lady of Solitude. She wore a crown of diamonds with a huge drop pearl in the middle, and the black velvet robe with semi-precious stones. The people decided that as the donkey had died at that spot, they would build a church there to house the little statue. Cool. I suppose I see it, but I seriously doubt it was used as any object of reverence. If I had to guess, it looks more like it was used as a mockery of Mary by the Vanderbilts. That was my first thought about it too. Than anything else. They certainly didn't follow anything resembling the Christian religion, which you'll see in the subsequent posts. But you may be wondering who the other boy is next to young Anderson Cooper. Why? That's his brother, Carter Cooper. The same brother who committed suicide at age 23 by jumping from his mother's 14th story Manhattan penthouse. It was a suicide, and we obviously know of what suicide means. Obviously, you go against the hand that feeds you, per se. Anderson Cooper's still haunted by his older brother's suicide. Not a day goes by that I don't think about it, the journalist tells Howard Stern. Yuck. But we're not talking about that or the icon today. Then we see anonymous post. This is from August 15th, so about 5 days ago. No, that is nowhere near normal. The picture above her is evil. Absolutely. Symbolism, Q says, will be their downfall. Focus on her necklace. Bottom charm has significant meaning. Find the match. Red shoes, Q. Oh geez, if you saw the drops already, you know where this is going. Red shoes was the hint. Here's an up-close picture. This is what they're focusing on. This right here, below hand, absolutely. Below the boy's hand, just to clarify, right there. Below hand, Q. Find the matches, open source. They never thought they'd be hunted. This is a major revelation coming up. So we look it up. All right, Anons, we need to find all matches for this quote-unquote charm. Compare pool of V with painting of kids in pool red shoes. I took a better screenshot of the medallion. So you can see it again right here. Let's take a gander. The red shoes painting comes from Podesta's personal art collection, which was the subject of incredibly scrutiny following the WikiLeaks Pizzagate disclosure. Namely, these pictures, which are disturbing. If you do not want to look at them, just, I'll tell you when it's over. But it has a lot to do with the story. We see here they're all wearing red shoes. They're all wearing white tank tops, boys and girls. Then we see here that their hands and their butts are bruised, feet are dirty. Looks like a pool. Looks like a pool with a bunch of hoses hanging down or ropes. All these paintings were composed by artist Belanja Durjevic. And yes, there are more of these horrid things. This is the art of Belanja Durjevic, a favorite of Tony Podesta's brother. Tony Podesta, brother of Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta. Hashtag spirit cooking. You're all, I'm sure, have seen this, but, it's very disturbing. We see here all in the same, tiling. I believe they call these wet rooms. Then we see here, this is the lady, the artist, who is a waste. Tony Podesta's art by Belana Djurjevic. Compare pool of V painting with kids in pool red shoes. Q. Podesta art. Cross against Podesta. Travel to Rome. Review 2015-2016 pics inside only. Q. Then we see the thick-ankled dog face walking with Podesta. How the Democrats infiltrated the Catholic Church / coffee house. Right-wing Americans see liberal conspiracies everywhere. Often their claims are fatuous. Donald Trump has just announced that the 2016 presidential election has been rigged. That is also another Neon Revolt article, I believe. Let me check. Coffee house. Okay. Now we know, thanks to WikiLeaks, 2 batches of documents, one leaked this month, one in August, show that top-level Democrats and their allies have successfully infiltrated the Catholic Church in order to advance their social agenda. The 2 key players are John Podesta, chairman of Hillary Clinton campaign, who is an extremely liberal Catholic, and George Soros, the left-wing billionaire philanthropist, who is an atheist, both possessed by demons, in my opinion. In August, WikiLeaks published a report by Soros's U.S. Opportunities Fund on the $650,000 he spent on Pope Francis's 2015 visit to the United States. Working through left-wing faith groups, the fund planned a buy-in of individual bishops to more publicly voice support of economic and racial justice. Messages in order to begin to create a critical mass of bishops who are aligned with the Pope. For aligned with the Pope, read Democrat friendly, obviously. The fund wants to tilt the balance of power against conservative prelates, such as Archbishop Charles Chaput of Philadelphia. Chaput is indeed out of favor with Francis, but he's even more disliked by Democrats, having just denounced Hillary Clinton as a scheming, robotic liar. Great adjectives right there. And Podesta's Catholics united as creatures of a political machine. Catholics, how does that make you feel right now reading that? Q's timeline specified 2015 to 2016, but it should be noted that Obama sent him there as early as 2014. Newsmax, Obama sends delegation to Vatican ceremony. Right here, White House Special Advisor John Podesta, the chairman of Progressive Pro-Abortion Group, is leading the U.S. delegation for the dual papal canonization in the Vatican. Great pick, right? Perfect candidate to send. Nothing suspicious at all about that. Warning, here we go, guys. The subject of these articles gets very rough from this point on and involves images and depict abuse and ritual sacrifice. So I know the beginning of the intro video was to set the tone for what we're about to get into, okay? So we see the picture. This is the pool where you see the kids that are roped up at. They're hung up. One of 2. Q. Anon expressed what we're all thinking. Right here. It's a real painting GD. And he's shooting the gun crying. And here it is. Right there. That is in the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina. This is the pool in the Biltmore estate built in North Carolina by none other than George Washington Vanderbilt. And this is the house. You can definitely go visit it. You can definitely go see this pool. And I believe it is tucked away near the basement, which it's not even a pool. They claim it as a heated pool. We learn from Fritz Springmeier that the Vanderbilts are an Illuminati legacy family with direct ties to the Collins line, one of the 13 Illuminati bloodlines, which I mentioned earlier. The Vanderbilts, much like the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, all made their fortunes by working for in the kill box P. But is the CNN opposition to Trump suddenly coming into clearer focus now? Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt. You can look it up. You can find that on Google any day of the week. There we go. Confirmed. What do you notice? So what do we notice? We notice the hanging down of the ropes, as well as here the tile, and we can continue. This isn't a normal swimming pool. Absolutely not. It doesn't even look like a swimming pool to me. It just doesn't look like a swimming pool. Let's just be honest. This is a satanic slaughterhouse. Some other things Anon noticed. Noose-like ropes along the sides of the pool with red stains. We can just look up there. There's red stains on there. It's dirty down here. as well manicured as they keep this place, why is this so dirty? Because you cannot get blood stains out of this stuff that easy. We'll continue on. Lights on the bottom of the pool, why? Stairs leading from an altar stage podium to the bottom of the pool. Same tile pattern as pedestal art piece. 2 plants. Plants need water. What kind of plants? Why? Yeah, I don't know. Probably blood. And yeah, what is this? This isn't a diving board or anything like that. It's very strange. Oh, it makes me sick. Then we'll take a closer look right here. This ladder. I don't even see the rungs going all the way down. So I don't know what that means. It's obviously not deleted or anything. It's not photoshopped. Yeah, lights around the edges of the pool right here. Very strange. Why doesn't the ladder have stairs? That's weird. Well, rungs. I'm from the South. So another Anna noticed this from another painting. Then we see this. They're holding hands. Very disturbing indeed. Wearing socks. Red, red, red. Then we see here the picture. Unbelievable, right? All right, then we'll continue on. August 15, 2018, confirm. What do you notice? Q. Compare and contrast. 1 equals 1. Location of painting confirmed. Travel to Rome. Charms are very important. Q. This was not a painting from some artist's imagination. Absolutely not. This was something this artist, and I don't even want to call her an artist because of the depravity of it all, witnessed in real life. They call this woman in to paint what they are doing. She's not thinking of this stuff off the top of her head. It matches too perfectly to be coincidences. To be a coincidence, and we all know there are no coincidences. This one, same picture, red shoes all the way across. The red shoes are important, and notice the hands. They're like bruised, or they look, yeah, absolutely bruised. Sad face. But the connection Q wants us to make, I believe, is between the red shoes and what's going on here. Red shoes and looks like a pope or a deacon or something. Italian cobbler Adriano Stefanelli presents Pope Benedict, whatever number that is, with the custom-made red shoes of the Vatican. Credit Adriano Stefanelli. The Pope, all the popes wear red shoes. Antonio Podesta once requested everyone wear red shoes to his birthday party. Boom, there it is. I would love to walk in there with an AR-15, but that's another story. If you've ever investigated Pizzagate to any degree, you've probably run into this in similar images. It's long been theorized that the red shoes were originally made from the skin of children who had been ritually sacrificed. Were those shoes in these pictures made from the skin of dead children? Probably not, but it's the symbolism here that's important. The ritual murders are still happening to this very day, and these are the scum participating. Anon comes back with a lead on the necklace, which Q confirms. All right, so they have found the necklace that Gloria Vanderbilt is wearing, Anderson Cooper's mom. Basically, the description details Guatemalan silver charm necklace, 1980s, long wedding necklace with milagras, metal beads, cowgirl Southwest. Let's see. There are beads and many animals dangling, hanging off the double chain strands. The charms are called milagras: lion, duck, quetzal bird, swallow bird, deer, fish, and goddess center bottom. The necklace and dangles are all silver color metals, and most are in excellent condition and actually still shiny. Purchased in 1990s in Gallup, New Mexico at a pawn shop where I was attending the Intertribal Indian Festival. I was told that this was a Guatemalan wedding necklace. It was a personal piece, but I have become allergic to all metals, so this is now up for grabs. Maybe worn 2 times. We could continue on. These small charms, often depicting arms, legs, praying people, farm animals, and a wide range of other subjects, are typically nailed or pinned to crosses or wooden statues of various saints like Virgin Mary or Christ. Sacred objects pinned on the clothing of the saint statues are hung with little red ribbons or threads from altars and shrines. They are also carried for protection and good luck, and thanks to saints and their animals, the 1848 repro coin pendant is of Jose Rafael Carrera. Oh, my bad. Let's go. I apologize, guys. Yeah, so, yeah, right here. was the president of Guatemala from 1844 to 1848 and 1851 until his death in 1865 after being appointed president for life in 1854. Another anon finds higher resolution images of the same kind of necklace. So we'll scroll down onto that. There we go. Boom. Check that out. Strange. High resolution close-up. And again, this one, a different one. Notice the birds and the deer. Backside of it. The coin in the middle of the Vanderbilt pendant is an image of Jose Rafael Carrera Tersoy and was president of Guatemala from 1844 to 1848. He united Guatemala just like POTUS wants to unite the world. This is a charm. This charm is made to bind someone like POTUS. This was also a bride gift from Satan. These people are sick. Sounds almost like voodoo, I agree, in the sense that it's a binding charm. Anons make more connections. Get this, guys. I'm asking myself the same question. Here's a crew with two peacocks meaning pride and occultism. She probably got the amulet in Guatemala in the 50s when the clowns planned a coup on the president Jacobo Arbenz. She was a spy, most likely involved. We might have to dig on her. Q might be signaling us to something relevant in Guatemala, something that happened or that will happen soon, or just activating our almonds for something to come. Might be something involving the church. Pedos or red shoes, can't really tell. Right, so we'll check here. Not peacocks, quetzals. I believe that's how it's pronounced. A very important bird in Guatemala, and its daddy, Reginald. The necklace was likely a spoil of war. Bells just went off. I know exactly what Pan Am did to Guatemala. They flew the rich down to Fish Lake Atalan. Fish. They stocked the lake, ruined it forever. Got it, Q. Don't like, but I get it. Anons theorize, this will make sense to you, that Pan Am was supporting a human trafficking back in the day. Grandpa founded Pan Am. Entrepreneur Cornelius Vanderbilt, Whitney dead at 93. It makes sense. After all, you have a family deeply affiliated with the clowns and who, back in the day, was associated with clowns drug running. Coleman testimony on CIA Pan Am 103, drug smuggling corroborated. We'll go into this. Lester Knox Coleman, formerly with the Defense Intelligence Agency, is a key witness behind allegations that negligence on the part of the U.S. government led to the placing of a bomb on board Pan Am Flight 103, which exploded over Lockerbie in Scotland in December 21st, 1988, killing 270 people. Mr. Coleman, age 47, worked until May 1990 with the Secret Unit Middle East Collection MC-10. For most of his 6 years with the DIA, he was in Cyprus running a network of agents in Beirut whose mission was to find American hostages held by extremists. Two senior MC-10 members were Matthew Kevin Gannon and Major Charles Dennis McKee. Both were on Flight 103 and had just returned from a mission in Beirut. Also on board was Khaled Nazir Jafar, a Lebanese agent from the American Drug Enforcement Administration. Mr. Coleman was a unique insight into the DIA and DEA operations in the Middle East because he worked for both organizations. He was second twice to the DEA from February to September 1987 and April to May 1988. According to an affidavit by Mr. Coleman given to Pan Am lawyers in Brussels on April 17th, this year, 1991, with the narcotics squad of the Cypriot National Police, the German BKA police and British Customs ran a drug sting operation through Cyprus and airports in Europe, including Frankfurt. It involved delivering heroin from the Baca Valley in Lebanon to the United States, particularly in Detroit, Houston, Los Angeles, where there are large Lebanese communities. Obviously, they were also impacting ghettos and lower income places too. Just infiltrating it, expanding the disease of opioids. The explanation for this operation was officially codename Karua, was provided by Ronald Caffrey, acting assistant administrator of the operation division. He said the drug operations was a controlled delivery. In a controlled delivery, a law enforcement agency permits and monitors shipment of contraband, including drugs, to move from a source or transit location to its intended destination. Mr. Coleman, with his knowledge of this type of operation, believes that Flight 103 was being used by the DEA as a controlled flight. The cabal has always had rat lines, and the Vanderbilts were monetizing it for decades. They are made of coins. The originals were silver coins, reproductions in nickel. The Vanderbilts photo was 1972, if I recall correctly. The CIA overthrew the government in Guat 1954. Were the Vanderbilts in on that? If that's the real deal, silver and actual coral, it would date back to 1550 or so. Again, 1550 is how far back these bloodlines go of just the Vanderbilts. And that's just an assumption. It could go back further than that. Do you remember the fire in Guatemalan orphanage? At least 22 girls had been killed in a fire at that government-run home for abused teens, which broke out when residents set mattresses ablaze after an overnight riot and attempted to escape from the overcrowded government-run center. A crowd of relatives, many of them waiting with grief, gathered outside the Virgen de Asuncion home for children up to 18 years old in the semi-rural suburb of San Jose Panua, basically 15 miles southwest of Guatemala City. It's a crime to be young and pretty. Girls flee predatory Central American gangs. Neri Ramos, the head of the Guatemala National Police, said that at the scene that 19 people, all girls, were confirmed dead. Local hospitals were confirmed the death toll had risen up to 22. All between the ages of 13 and 17 were still treated for burns on Wednesday. This is a painful situation, Ramos said, adding that the fire had been started by a group of young people at the center. He said a group of residents were isolated by authorities at the center after an escape attempt on Tuesday night. Police were investigating the two events were connected. This sounds just like a false flag, even today. Is this recent? Yeah, 2017. This sounds just like a false flag. Plagued by Latin Americans' highest rates of child malnutrition in the street gangs like Amara Salvatrucha that often prey on minors, Guatemala has been a traumatic place to grow up. Conditions in public institutions are often dismal, with widespread overcrowding. Burnt bodies partially covered in blankets were strewn across the floor of a blanketed room in the home. Pictures posted to Twitter by the firefighters showed. On Tuesday night, riot police were sent into quell unrest over the crowded living conditions. Quell? I'm not sure. Some 40 residents escaped but were recaptured and isolated, Ramos said. Doesn't that sound crazy? Let's say, said the shelter had an official capacity of 500 but was housing at least 800. Distraught relatives said abuse was common at the center, which was run by a Ministry for Social Welfare, Democrats. Domestic worker Alicia Lopez, 50, had been outside the home for hours trying to find out what happened to her autistic 12-year-old son who came to the center with a drug addiction. 12 years old drug addiction. She said he had been raped there last week. I still don't have information. I want justice for him, Lopez said at the home, which takes in abandoned children as well as victims of the abused and trafficked. Andrea Palomo told reporters in tears that she had brought her 15-year-old son to the home to discipline him, but he told her he was mistreated and complained that gang members there tattooed the children, she said. Yeah, marking them, right? Like ownership. Guatemala's ombudsman for human rights decided whether children are placed in the home, and some parents praised the center. Businesswoman Christina Puak, 59, said her adopted teenage daughter Gladys was placed there for being rebellious and aggressive and stealing things. When I came to see her, everything seemed fine, she said. She never complained about anything. The conclusion of this, guys, the Vanderbilts ran trafficking out of Guatemala and probably speculation funded the coup. Let's see if they also owned the fruit company. Remember all this the next time you hear Anderson Cooper on the TV lecturing you about Trump's supposed moral failings. Absolutely. And that is the end of that blog. He always does such a wonderful job. Yeah, you know, Anderson Cooper is definitely CIA. He's part of the Vanderbilts. I hate his face. And this stems off in, you know, the Bushes, the Rothschilds, all these people that the Queen run, these families are part of this bloodline, these 13 bloodlines. And there's more on this. I mean, if you just Google, if you research it on Reddit or wherever you would like, you know, you can find this stuff out. It's very interesting and it's very real. If you enjoy this and you found it informative, please subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. And if you would care to donate to my Patreon, all donations $10 and more will go to merch. Every donation goes to merch and the bettering of this channel. Just so you know, $10 or more will get you free shipping on whatever you want, because it's going to be coming out on a website mid-September. We'll have cups and koozies and T-shirts and hats eventually. So we're going to start off with hats or shirts and see how those do, and we'll move on from there. We'll see how quick they go. But that is it for me, guys. It's good to be back. Might get a double upload today, depending on how this goes. Again, another thing, I hate to harp on Patreon, but I just want you to know that the past 4 videos I did, including one that's over 140,000 views, has been demonetized. They're all demonetized. So that's hard for me to bring money into this channel. That's all it is, you know. So that's why Patreon is so important. But that's all I got to say, guys. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday evening. Please be kind to one another and love one another. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.